Good morning again. Welcome back to Kamik's Tropical and Organic Farms. Today we want to return back to pitaya farming, which is our dragon fruit. So there are a lot of queries that I have gotten from our viewers and from those inquiring about what we are doing, and the main content of what people have been inquiring is on the seedlings. They want to know about the seedlings. They want to know how to get the seedlings. They want to understand the price of the seedlings. So today I just want to talk briefly about how we started dragon fruit, so that you can know how you can start dragon fruit farming. Number one, before you get into the dragon fruit farming, you need to do an intensive research to understand about the fruit, because it's not all about just buying the fruit and putting it on the ground. It's about how do you take care of this plant, how do you plant the vines for the dragon fruit, and what are the best species. So if you look at the sites on the internet, you'll find that there are some people who are selling these vines for as low as 200 shillings. But you'll find that there are those vines which are going for between 500 to 700 shillings. I want to show you or to teach you the difference. Dragon fruit, you can get at whatever price, but what are you getting? When you go for quality and you go for that vine which will take the shortest time to maturity, you'll get the price of this vine being more expensive than for those ones who sell it cheaply. They are the offcuts that have outgrown, like the fruit, the video we did for the offcuts that we showed you the other time. We have replanted. This is one of the offcuts that I showed you last time. We have replanted, but compare this with this one that has come directly from the nursery. As you can see, the mother plant is a mature plant. You can look at the size of this vine, which is a white vine, and compared to the size of this vine, which is also a white vine. This is a very young shoot. Anyone who sells you this for 200 shillings, 300 shillings is valid, because how long will this take to mature? And how long will this take to maturity? So you might find such vines going for up to 700 shillings, which has, some of them will find them with double growth or triple growth. That you will find them for a bit higher price, and the quality will be very nice. When you get such vines for 200 shillings, you'll get them for that price. It will be cheaper. You'll have so much acreage covered, but I can bet you this will take you more than 2 or 5 years for you to start seeing the fruits appearing on this. This one will give you fruit from between 9 months to 12 months. And then again, something else that you'll want also to note is that dragon fruit, for you to cut the vine for transplanting, you have to wait for it to have matured or fruited like 2 or 3 seasons for that mother plant to be very mature to give better offcuts. So the person who has taken a dragon fruit from a vine which has never fruited will sell you at a very cheap price. But are you willing to wait for that long? So when you're deciding on when you're getting into dragon fruit farming, please ensure that you visit most of the farmers and learn about this farm and get the correct vine. So as you can see, this is a pole that is new, so that shows you that we have transferred this from the nursery. It is less than a week old, all the poles that are in between. And if you decide to use the ones that are cheaply acquired, like for example for today, I will remove this offcut, because at the end of the day it is not following the alignment that you are looking at. If I replant this one, if I have to replant this one, it will take me more years to see the fruit than the ones which came from the mature mother plant. So for those who want to start dragon fruit farming, I urge you to please identify the vine that are mature from the farms. Avoid, if you can, purchasing it from the roadsides, because from the roadside they are out to sell. But from a farm you can still come back in case even your vines die out and replaced, the vine is replaced. But when you buy from anyone who does not do the farming, you might end up being disappointed from what you'll achieve at the end of the planting season. So that is how you can determine which price to pay for which dragon fruit that you'll be looking out for. As low as 200, wait for so long, or a very mature plant, you invest a bit more, but you get the best vines. Thank you. And I would also want now we move to the apples so that you can also understand how to choose the best cuttings or the best grafted apples for your farms. So also the same principle that applied for the dragon fruit when you're looking for the seedlings will also apply for the apples. Apple pure breed that is grafted, it goes from between 1,000 to 1,500 depending on where you get it from. So if someone tries to sell you an apple tree for anything below 1,000 or 1,500, you'll know that you're not either getting the correct breed, you'll get an apple that will never fruit, or you might get even an apple that was wrongly grafted. So for the quality grafted apples, that is the price ranges. And when you're doing apple farming, when you get these seedlings, like you've seen most of the seedlings here, now they have already adapted to this land. You are required to do pruning the way you do for tea leaves, so that it can remove more buds from the lower ground. Why are you doing this? By the time the apple will now be, by the time we'll get to the sunny period, when we'll be expecting the apples to start flowering, it will have developed so many branches, and per branch you can harvest at least 30 to 50 apples per season. So imagine how much apple you'll be able to harvest from one tree if you have enough branches. The branches should come from the main stalk. Anything that is coming below the main stalk, you are advised to discard it, so that the nutrients will feed first the grafted stem before it starts feeding the branches. So for this one, I will require to prune the top, because I want, you see this one is elongated as one stem. That one, because we had already done pruning before, it has already gotten enough branches for it to produce enough fruits as it goes. So I will just prune the top part. I've said the same way you do, you know, the tea leaves, they usually say you remove the first two buds that are green so that it can populate the below one. We also go to the next one. So for this one, we had already done tip pruning before, and you see how many branches I have from below. You see from the lower one, it came as one branch, but by the one it got here, this one has a branch, this one has a branch, it has a branch, a branch, a branch. So it will extend the branches with time, but I also want it to continue to have more, because I'm envisioning more branches by the time we start the harvesting period. So this is another variety that you have never pruned the top part. As you're seeing, it is coming out as one. So remember, this one will only give me to a maximum of 50 fruits as one branch, but I don't need one branch to for me to get to the harvest targets that I want. I want multiple branches so that I can get, if I can get 50 fruits from each branch, then my harvest will be more than one stem giving me a harvest. So I will tip the top part like that. Then when we do the next series, you'll see the branches developing. So again, I will go do the other. So on this one, I have two branches, as you can see, 1, 2, and I want from these two to now get multiple branches. Again, I will have to do the pruning, and this one will allow that the plant concentrate more energy in producing the other branches. So yesterday, as you were also seeing, we were doing our harvesting for the beans that were planted with the maize. So as you can see, the maize do not have beans below them. So that's what I was telling you about, face your seasons, because imagine that one, if we were to harvest all of them once, then it will mean that you have either to get more storage space, or you get a client to purchase your seeds if you're doing it for business purposes once. But if you phase out your business venture, you will be able to have harvesting the whole season. So the cover plants for under the apple are doing very well, and they will not affect the apple. I wanted to show you one of the apple that has started to fruit. You see, we are still having very heavy rains. As I was saying, we have the season that we are in right now, we have a lot of rainfall. But for this one, this branch has already started to remove the flower buds. You see, the plant is still below the hole that you already planted it from. If you had purchased this apple from not a renowned grafter of apples, you will not be seeing such results. So this is an indicator that you got the correct seedling when you were purchasing your seedling. And this one we got from an established farm, which you can see with your eyes that there is a... If I can give you our example, the way we had to go all the way to Embu, Meru, I usually confuse those two towns, all the way to Meru to get our dragons. We went all the way to Laikipia to get our apples, and we got them from a renowned apple grafter who has tried it for over 50 years. The father was the originator of the apples, and now the family has taken the business as a family business. They are called the Wambugus. So this is where we went to get our grafted apples from. So if we would have decided to get only the ones that you were trying to look at, gotten everything from the roadside, we will not be having experiences on how our apples will be doing. This one we got from a farmer in Naivasha, and immediately we planted it, it produced a fruit. One of the branches also, as you can see, has some fruit buds already showing. So this is why I'm telling you, you'll rather spend more once and start experiencing the harvest within a short period. If you can start experiencing your first harvest within your 1 year period, that will be a plus for any farmer. And as I'd already been telling you about the Wambugu family, you see, a venture that was started by the parent, now you have 2 generations already benefiting from the farming that the father started. As soon as you make the decision to start, the hardest thing is to start. So when you want to start in fruit farming, don't think about how, why, where, price. Think about what do you want it to achieve for you in the next generations to come. Then it will be easy for you to make that decision. And that is what we talked about, and we said, for us, we want to show the youth and our children to come that you can be a successful farmer. You don't have always to look for a white-collar job for you to be successful. So that is a small brief about the decision that you have to make first and understand before you get into fruit farming. And we hope that by this you'll be able to conclude on your decision to be a farmer like us. Thank you, and hope to see you again in our next coverage.